did this happen? And why did it happen to him so young?
We used to always say to the kids, that within 5 years of leaving school, probably someone in your year level at school will have died through a road accident. So be careful. Always, but we'd sort of do that as a, and here it's us.
He was just had so many plans, so many dreams and stuff. And now, if I'm doing something that I don't think's worthwhile now, I have to stop and think about it. And I think Angus would, he would do anything to be here and have that opportunity. So it makes you look at things differently. It makes you think about life differently.
I see myself in the next 10 years owning my own property and buying a house and settled into that, and basically finishing my Cert 3 in hospitality in chefing and go out and travel the world.
The hardest thing was seeing his mates carry his coffin to that car and it driving away, and just seeing in their eyes the pain those kids have had to deal with. And the hardest thing that those kids should have had to deal with was getting a job after school, not dealing with the death of someone that they've had, so much fun and good times with, and so unnecessarily, because he trusted that what he was told he had to do, and if he did that, he would be okay.
What had happened? He said, there's been a motorcycle crash. And I said, can I go up there? I'm concerned. Concerned it's my friend. Just sort of stood on the side of the road with the rest of the people, just willing him back to life, really. I was there for probably a good 10-15 minutes while they did their best to help him out. And they pulled out his strip and put the cover over his face.
It is still so surreal at the moment. I can't believe that he's actually gone. It just feels like he's gone somewhere for a holiday or something like that.
Because I just thought Angus, nothing can happen to Angus. He's the biggest person out. He's everything. Nothing can really happen to him. So I knew the bike was dangerous, but I never thought this could happen.
That Angus had died last night, and I didn't believe it. I sat there the first emotion that went through my head was denial. I just denied it. It's not true. Angus isn't dead. He's too strong to have died. It wouldn't have happened to him. Even though we finished school, we all went back to school, to the classroom we were in, and just sat there and just spoke about him as if he was still there. But he wasn't.
To this day, his grandmother can't, every time she sees me, she just bawls, because she just, almost you get into this thing of blaming yourself, because, the last conversation she had with him, it was rousing on him about the motorbike.
To me, it wasn't even really him. He never really spoke of having a motorbike when he was a young kid or anything like that, so I don't know what possessed him to get it, but I told him how I felt, and fortunately that was the last thing I ever said to him.
Then just jumped in my bike within 2 weeks, having no experience, because Agnes had no experience on the bike pretty much. He just wanted to drive one, learnt how to drive one at Q Ride. Here's your licence at the end of the day, then on the road. no experience whatsoever in tricky situations. I said to him one day, I was like, dude, just watch out, be careful. Everyone said, be careful, take your car, but he just wanted to live his life, so yeah.
I never thought that I would have to deal with something like this. But now that it's happened, I just can't let it go without trying.
Can happen, they're not invincible. Angus was a confident person and he thought nothing was ever going to happen to him. One little mistake cost him his life.
Knowing that he was having to come home to identify his son's body and seeing him walk off that plane, and he was just, his face was ashen and his eyes were just like he didn't have any answer to why he's not here, and there's just an absolute gap, and we can't change it.
I don't want Jason to be just another statistic. On the 2nd of January, the police turned up and told us that Jason had been killed on the Stanley River Road. And not a nice thing to be told, that you've lost your son. And it was like a nightmare. Then our life started where all of a sudden Jason wasn't part of our life anymore. And I couldn't understand that. And so for a while I just thought, someone has taken our son from us and something needs to be done, because I couldn't believe that in 5 hours you can give a person a motorcycle to ride on a road who had never ever been on the road before. It's not right. Just can't see the sense in all of this as to how it happened and why it's allowed to continue to happen. I just think that really they need to look at the rules. And just because Jason could drive a car and a truck, that doesn't mean that he was a good motorbike rider. Yet the Transport Minister seems to think if you can drive a car, you can ride a bike. If we can just stop one more family from going through what we've got to go through. We had his birthday, we had our first Christmas and his first anniversary. And it is hard because he's not going to be in your family anymore, and he just leaves such a void in your life that you can't fill because he's not there anymore. And he's going to miss out on so much. He was so lovely, and I just miss him terribly.
Well, this was really the very, very worst day of my life. So I knew something terrible had happened, and when the policeman actually said, your son died, I just went to pieces. I couldn't, I just couldn't believe it. A numbing feeling. I mean, it's a moment I will never forget in my life. I can recall every second of it, and how I just didn't want it to be true, couldn't be true. I just screamed at that policeman. I said, it's not true. My life, our lives will never be the same. It can't be true. I had to go to the morgue and identify Ross. And he looked untouched, really, just cold. And I kept thinking he's going to open his eyes. It won't be, it won't really have happened. Every moment of your day is taken up with this thought that someone, that your child has died. An accident like this can happen any time and so suddenly. 1 minute, everything's wonderful, life's wonderful, your children are happy, enjoying life, and the next morning you wake up and there's been a fatal accident it's so sudden and your life has changed.
How could any government let it be that easy for someone like us to get our licence?